Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims. Niccolo Machiavelli, they want you to believe everyone is playing fair, that honesty and good intentions are the only forces at play in your daily interactions. They tell you that if you just communicate clearly and be yourself, everything will fall into place. This is a lie, a comforting fantasy designed to keep you passive and predictable. The truth is, every conversation is a negotiation, a subtle dance of power where hidden agendas clash and unspoken desires dictate the flow. People aren't always what they seem. They mask their true motives behind carefully constructed facades, employing tactics they themselves may not even consciously understand. Your naivety is their advantage, your trust their weapon. We don't accept the lie, we see the game. The first step to winning any game is understanding the rules, and in social dynamics, those rules are rarely spoken aloud. They exist beneath the surface, influencing every word, every gesture, every fleeting expression. Most people are content to stumble through life, oblivious to these undercurrents, reacting instead of acting, being played instead of playing. They mistake politeness for sincerity, agreement for loyalty, and surface-level charm for genuine connection. This is a fatal error. The world is filled with individuals seeking to manipulate, to control, to extract value from others, and they are masters of disguise. They know how to exploit your empathy, how to trigger your insecurities, how to make you question your own perceptions. Consider the seemingly harmless compliment. Is it genuine appreciation or a calculated attempt to lower your guard and elicit a reciprocal favor? Observe the carefully timed interruption. Is it a genuine need to contribute to the conversation or a subtle assertion of dominance, a way to subtly undermine your authority? The devil is always in the details. These micro-expressions, the fleeting pauses, the subtle shifts in tone, these are the tells, the indicators of the hidden game being played beneath the surface. You must learn to see them. Don't be fooled by their attempts to portray themselves as victims, as vulnerable innocents simply seeking connection. This is often a calculated strategy, a way to manipulate your sympathy and gain your trust. The sob story is a classic tool of the manipulator, designed to disarm your critical thinking and elicit an emotional response. They paint themselves as helpless, as unfairly burdened in order to gain your assistance, your resources, your compliance. Recognize this pattern. Question their motives. Don't allow your empathy to be weaponized against you. They will try to gaslight you to make you doubt your own sanity. They will deny their actions, twist your words, and rewrite history to suit their narrative. They will make you feel like you are the one who is being unreasonable, the one who is overreacting, the one who is imagining things. This is a deliberate tactic designed to erode your self-confidence and make you dependent on their validation. Trust your instincts. Pay attention to the inconsistencies in their stories. Don't let them control your reality. The ability to detect these hidden games is not about being cynical or paranoid. It's about being aware, about understanding the complexities of human behavior, about protecting yourself from those who would seek to exploit you. It's about recognizing that every interaction is a potential battlefield, and that your awareness is your armor. It is about understanding that people often say one thing and mean another. It's about seeing the discrepancies between words and actions. It's about learning to read the unspoken language of power. Many will tell you that questioning motives is impolite, that it creates distrust, that it poisons relationships. This is precisely what those who benefit from your naivety want you to believe. They want you to remain compliant, unquestioning, and easily manipulated. But true connection is built on honesty and authenticity, not on blind trust and willful ignorance. By understanding the hidden games being played around you, you can build stronger, more genuine relationships with those who are truly worthy of your trust. Learn to recognize the signs of manipulation. Learn to identify the common tactics used to control and influence others. Learn to protect yourself from those who would seek to exploit you. The world is a complex and often dangerous place, but with awareness, knowledge, and strategic thinking, You can navigate these treacherous waters and emerge victorious. You can take control of your interactions, protect your boundaries, and achieve your goals. Observe their body language. Crossed arms, averted eyes, fidgeting hands. These are all potential indicators of discomfort, deception, or hidden agendas. Pay attention to their tone of voice. Sarcasm, condescension, and passive aggression are all subtle ways of asserting dominance and undermining your confidence. Listen carefully to their word choices. Vague language, evasive answers, and carefully crafted justifications are all red flags. Recognize the power of framing. The way a situation is presented can dramatically influence your perception of it. Manipulators are masters of framing, carefully selecting the information they present and the language they use to shape your understanding of events. They will highlight certain aspects while downplaying others, creating a narrative that favors their agenda. Learn to see through these distortions. Question their assumptions. Seek out alternative perspectives. Don't be afraid to challenge their statements. Ask probing questions. Demand evidence. Hold them accountable for their actions. Manipulators thrive in an environment of deference and compliance. By challenging their authority, you disrupt their strategy and force them to reveal their true motives. Be polite, but be firm. Stand your ground. Remember, awareness is your greatest weapon. By understanding the hidden games being played around you, you can protect yourself from manipulation, build stronger relationships, and achieve your goals. The first step is to discard the naive belief that everyone is playing fair. The game is on, whether you choose to participate or not. Learn the rules, master the strategies, take control of your destiny. The world is a chessboard and you are the player. It's time to make your move. The manipulator's toolbox extends far beyond simple deception. It's a collection of psychological tactics designed to exploit your vulnerabilities and control your behavior. One common technique is guilt tripping, where they attempt to make you feel responsible for their unhappiness or the negative consequences of their actions. They might exaggerate their suffering, subtly blame you for their problems, or constantly remind you of past favors they've done for you. The goal is to create a sense of obligation and manipulate you into doing what they want. Recognize this pattern and refuse to be emotionally blackmailed. Your feelings are valid, and you are not responsible for their choices. Another insidious tactic is gaslighting, a form of psychological manipulation where the manipulator attempts to make you doubt your own sanity. They might deny events that clearly happened, distort your memories, or accuse you of being overly sensitive or irrational. Over time, this can erode your self-confidence and make you question your own perceptions of reality. If you suspect you are being gaslighted, seek out a trusted friend or therapist who can provide an objective perspective. Document your experiences and trust your instincts. Consider the power of emotional contagion. Emotions are surprisingly contagious, and manipulators often use this to their advantage. By projecting strong emotions, such as anger, sadness, or fear, they can influence the emotional state of those around them. This can cloud your judgment and make you more susceptible to their influence. Be aware of the emotional atmosphere they create and resist the urge to be swept away by their negativity. Maintain your emotional distance and focus on your own inner state. Observe their use of projection. Projection is a defense mechanism where individuals attribute their own unacceptable thoughts, feelings, or motives to others. A manipulator might accuse you of being selfish, dishonest, or aggressive, even though these are the very qualities they possess. This allows them to deflect blame and avoid taking responsibility for their own actions. When you encounter accusations that seem out of character or disproportionate to the situation, consider whether they might be projecting their own flaws onto you. Don't internalize their negativity. Recognize it as a reflection of their own internal conflict. Understand the role of cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is the mental discomfort experienced when holding conflicting beliefs or values. Manipulators often exploit this by creating situations that force you to act in ways that contradict your own values. For example, they might pressure you to lie for them, compromise your integrity, or betray a friend. Once you've acted against your own values, you are more likely to rationalize your behavior and justify their actions. Resist the temptation to compromise your principles. Stand firm in your values, even when it's difficult. Be wary of triangulation. Triangulation is a manipulative tactic where the manipulator involves a third party in their relationship with you. They might use this third party to create conflict, spread rumors, or gain leverage over you. This can create a sense of division and mistrust, making it harder for you to resist their influence. Refuse to participate in their games. Focus on maintaining direct and honest communication with the people in your life. Don't let them drive a wedge between you and your allies. Study the art of deflection. When confronted with difficult questions or accusations, manipulators often resort to deflection. They might change the subject, make a joke, or attack your character instead of addressing the issue at hand. This allows them to avoid taking responsibility and maintain control of the conversation. Don't let them off the hook. Insist on a direct answer to your question. Refuse to be distracted by their diversions. Examine their use of selective amnesia. Manipulators often have a convenient way of forgetting events that cast them in a negative light. They might deny promises they made, ignore evidence that contradicts their claims, or simply claim not to remember certain conversations. This allows them to rewrite history and avoid accountability for their actions. Keep a record of important conversations and agreements. Document their behavior and use it to challenge their selective amnesia. Don't let them rewrite the narrative to suit their needs. Remember the truth, even when they try to erase it. Consider the subtle art of the guilt trip. It's a classic manipulation tactic, often delivered with a sigh and a heavy dose of martyrdom. The manipulator positions themselves as the victim, implying that your actions, or lack thereof, are causing them immense suffering. This isn't about genuine emotional expression. It's a calculated attempt to control your behavior through emotional blackmail. Think of the colleague who consistently overcommits and then complains incessantly about being overworked, subtly implying that your lack of help is the reason for their misery. Or the family member who constantly reminds you of all they've done for you, implying that you are forever indebted and obligated to fulfill their every whim. The key is to recognize the pattern. Are they genuinely expressing a need, or are they trying to evoke guilt to manipulate you into doing something you don't want to do? Analyze their words and actions objectively. Are their claims supported by evidence, or are they exaggerating their suffering to gain your sympathy and compliance? Don't fall for the trap. Acknowledge their feelings but firmly establish your boundaries. You are not responsible for their happiness, and you are not obligated to sacrifice your own well-being to alleviate their manufactured suffering. Remember, guilt is a powerful emotion, but it should be a guide, not a weapon. Now, let's dissect the power of manufactured urgency. Manipulators often create a false sense of urgency to pressure you into making hasty decisions. They might claim that a limited-time offer is about to expire, that a critical opportunity will be lost, or that a disastrous consequence will occur if you don't act immediately. This tactic is designed to bypass your rational thinking and exploit your fear of missing out. Imagine a car salesman who tells you that there are several other buyers interested in the same vehicle and that you need to make a decision right now or risk losing the car. Or the investment advisor who pressures you to invest in a risky venture, claiming that it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that will generate massive returns. The goal is to create a sense of panic and prevent you from carefully considering the pros and cons. The antidote is to resist the pressure. Take a deep breath and refuse to be rushed. Insist on having enough time to gather information, seek advice, and make a rational decision. Remember, a genuine opportunity will still be available tomorrow. If someone is truly trying to help you, they will respect your need for time and space. Be wary of anyone who tries to force your hand. They are likely more interested in their own agenda than your best interests. Recognize this tactic as a red flag and proceed with extreme caution. The faster they want you to act, the slower you should move. Consider also the insidious nature of gaslighting. This is a form of psychological manipulation where the manipulator tries to make you question your own sanity and perception of reality. They might deny things that happened, distort your memories, or accuse you of being irrational or overly sensitive. The goal is to erode your self-confidence and make you dependent on their version of reality. Think of a partner who constantly denies saying hurtful things, even when you have clear evidence to the contrary. Or the boss who blames you for mistakes that were clearly their fault, while simultaneously praising your incompetence to others. Over time, this constant invalidation can lead you to doubt your own judgment, question your sanity, and become increasingly reliant on the manipulator for validation. This tactic is particularly damaging because it attacks your sense of self and your ability to trust your own instincts. The key is to trust your own perceptions. If you feel like you are being gaslighted, take a step back and objectively evaluate the situation. Seek validation from trusted friends, family members, or therapists. Document your experiences and use them to challenge the manipulator's distortions. Remember, you are not crazy and your feelings are valid. Don't let them rewrite your reality. Reclaim your power by trusting your own inner voice and refusing to be gaslighted into submission. This type of manipulation is rarely a one-time event. It's a pattern of behavior designed to undermine your sense of self. Recognizing it is the first step towards protecting yourself. Finally, learn to recognize the tactic of emotional triangulation. This is a tactic where the manipulator involves a third party in their relationship with you. They might use this third party to create conflict, spread rumors, or gain leverage over you. This can create a sense of division and mistrust, making it harder for you to resist their influence. Think of a manipulative friend who constantly talks about you behind your back to other friends, creating drama and playing people against each other. Or a parent who plays favorites among their children, using comparisons and subtle manipulations to control their behavior. The goal is to create a power imbalance and isolate you from your support network. The antidote is to refuse to participate in their games. Focus on maintaining direct and honest communication with the people in your life. Don't let them drive a wedge between you and your allies. If someone is trying to involve you in a conflict between themselves and another person, refuse to take sides. Encourage them to resolve their issues directly without involving you. And if someone is spreading rumors about you, confront them directly and demand that they stop. Remember, triangulation is a tactic designed to create chaos and division. By refusing to participate, you can disrupt their plans and maintain your own sense of integrity. Don't let them turn you into a pawn in their manipulative game. Maintain open and honest communication with those around you and refuse to be drawn into their web of deceit. The truly insidious traps are rarely obvious. They're woven into the fabric of everyday interactions, disguised as favors, concerns, or even jokes. The weak fail because they mistake these subtle manipulations for genuine connection, failing to recognize the underlying power dynamics at play. They see a helping hand, not the strings attached. They hear a compliment, not the subtle dig designed to undermine their confidence. They accept a seemingly harmless request, not realizing it's a test of their boundaries, a probe to see how easily they can be controlled. It's a constant game of inches, a gradual erosion of autonomy that leaves the victim feeling confused, resentful, and trapped. They become puppets dancing to a tune they can't quite hear, their strings pulled by someone else's hidden agenda. They stumble, blindly, into carefully constructed scenarios, each one designed to weaken their resolve and solidify the manipulator's control. Think of the colleague who constantly asks for just a little bit of help with their workload, slowly but surely transferring their responsibilities onto your plate. At first, it seems innocent enough, a simple act of kindness, but over time it becomes an expectation, a drain on your time and energy that leaves you feeling overwhelmed and resentful. You've fallen into the trap of the helpful person, the one who can always be counted on to pick up the slack. The manipulator knows this, and they exploit it mercilessly, taking advantage of your good nature to further their own goals. You become a resource, a tool to be used and discarded. Or consider the friend who always needs to vent about their problems, monopolizing your time and emotional energy with their endless dramas. You listen patiently, offering advice and support, but they never seem to actually take your suggestions. Instead, they continue to wallow in their misery, using you as an emotional dumping ground. You start to feel drained, exhausted, and resentful. You've fallen into the trap of the therapist friend, the one who is always there to listen and offer support, but never receives anything in return. The manipulator knows this, and they exploit it ruthlessly, using you as a source of validation and attention, without ever having to take responsibility for their own actions. The common thread in all these scenarios is a failure to recognize the underlying power dynamic. The weak are so focused on being nice or helpful that they lose sight of their own needs and boundaries. They allow themselves to be taken advantage of, manipulated, and controlled. They fail to see the invisible game being played around them, the subtle power struggles that are constantly shaping their interactions. They are blind to the signals, deaf to the warnings, and ultimately fall prey to the manipulator's trap. They prioritize social harmony over personal integrity, sacrificing their own well-being in the pursuit of approval or acceptance. They believe that if they just try hard enough, they can win the manipulator's affection or respect. But this is a fool's errand. The manipulator is not interested in genuine connection or mutual respect. They are only interested in power and control. And the more you try to please them, the more power you give them. The trap is sprung, and escape becomes increasingly difficult. The Machiavellian approach starts with accepting a fundamental truth. Social interactions are rarely, if ever, purely altruistic. There is always an element of self-interest, a desire for advantage, a striving for power, however subtle or unconscious it may be. To detect hidden games, you must first abandon the naive assumption that everyone is operating in good faith. This does not mean becoming cynical or paranoid, but rather adopting a more realistic and nuanced perspective. It means acknowledging that people have agendas, that they often conceal their true motives, and that they are willing to use various tactics to get what they want. It's about understanding that vulnerability is a liability, and that projecting strength, even if it's carefully cultivated, can be your greatest asset. This strength isn't necessarily about physical dominance or aggression, but rather a quiet confidence, an unshakable sense of self-worth, and an unwavering commitment to your own boundaries. The Machiavellian observer understands that appearances can be deceiving, that words can be manipulative, and that actions speak louder than intentions. They pay close attention to inconsistencies between what people say and what they do, between their professed values and their actual behavior. They are masters of nonverbal communication, reading body language, micro-expressions, and subtle shifts in tone to discern the true feelings and intentions of others. They are not easily swayed by emotional appeals or charming facades. They maintain a detached and objective perspective, analyzing social situations with the cold logic of a chess player. They see the board, they understand the pieces, and they anticipate the moves of their opponents. The key to the Machiavellian strategy is to understand the other person's motivations. What are they trying to achieve? What are their vulnerabilities? What are their fears? Once you understand their underlying desires, you can anticipate their actions and develop countermeasures. This requires a deep understanding of human psychology, a knowledge of common manipulation tactics, and a keen awareness of social dynamics. It also requires empathy, not in the sense of feeling sorry for the manipulator, but in the sense of understanding their perspective, seeing the world through their eyes, and recognizing the forces that drive their behavior. The Machiavellian approach also emphasizes the importance of self-control. It's about mastering your own emotions, resisting the urge to react impulsively, and maintaining a calm and collected demeanor, even under pressure. This is crucial because manipulators often try to provoke emotional reactions in their targets, knowing that when people are emotional, they are more vulnerable to manipulation. By remaining calm and detached, you can avoid falling into their traps and maintain control of the situation. It is also vital to become adept at identifying the specific tactics that manipulators use. These tactics can range from subtle forms of flattery and guilt-tripping to more overt forms of intimidation and coercion. The more familiar you are with these tactics, the easier it will be to recognize them when they are being used against you. For example, be wary of those who shower you with excessive praise or try to create a sense of obligation by doing favors for you. Be alert to those who use emotional blackmail or try to make you feel guilty for asserting your boundaries. And be especially cautious of those who try to isolate you from your friends and family, as this is a common tactic used by abusers to gain control over their victims. Furthermore, the Machiavellian strategy requires cultivating a network of allies. Strength in numbers can deter potential manipulators, as they are less likely to target someone who is well supported and connected. Building strong relationships with trustworthy individuals can also provide you with valuable insights and perspectives, helping you to see through the deceptions of others. These allies can serve as a sounding board, offering advice and support when you are facing difficult social situations. They can also act as a witness, providing validation and accountability in cases of manipulation or abuse. However, it is crucial to choose your allies carefully, as some people may be motivated by self-interest or hidden agendas. Look for individuals who are trustworthy, reliable, and genuinely invested in your well-being. The Machiavellian approach also recognizes the importance of information. The more you know about a person or situation, the better equipped you will be to make informed decisions and avoid being manipulated. Do your research, gather intelligence, and pay attention to the details. Ask questions, observe carefully, and analyze the available data. The goal is to gain a comprehensive understanding of the power dynamics at play and to identify any potential threats or opportunities. Remember, knowledge is power, and the more information you have, the more control you will have over your own destiny. In addition to gathering information about others, it is also important to be aware of your own vulnerabilities. What are your weaknesses? What are your fears? What are the things that people can exploit to manipulate you? By understanding your own vulnerabilities, you can take steps to protect yourself and avoid falling prey to manipulation. This might involve setting clearer boundaries, improving your self-esteem, or developing strategies for managing your emotions. Think of it like an empire building its defenses or a general preparing for war. A successful empire doesn't just build walls randomly. It studies the terrain, identifies vulnerable points, and anticipates enemy strategies. A skilled general doesn't simply charge into battle. They analyze the enemy's strengths and weaknesses, assess their own resources, and develop a comprehensive plan of attack. Similarly, in the intricate dance of social interactions, you must understand the landscape and identify potential threats before they materialize. Detecting hidden games requires a similar level of strategic awareness and calculated foresight. History is filled with examples of empires that crumbled because they failed to recognize the subtle signs of internal decay or external aggression. They became complacent, blinded by their own power and arrogance, and were ultimately outmaneuvered by their enemies. The same principle applies in personal relationships. If you become too comfortable or complacent, you may fail to notice the subtle warning signs of manipulation or deception. You may become vulnerable to those who seek to exploit your trust or take advantage of your goodwill. A keen observer of human behavior knows that appearances can be deceiving. People often wear masks to conceal their true intentions, and they may use charm, flattery, or intimidation to get what they want. It is crucial to look beyond the surface and pay attention to the underlying motives and agendas. Just as a military strategist studies the movements of enemy troops, you must study the behavior of those around you. Observe their patterns, analyze their interactions, and pay attention to their nonverbal cues. Are they being consistent in their words and actions? Are they displaying any signs of discomfort or deception? Are they trying to control the narrative or manipulate your emotions? The art of detecting hidden games also involves understanding the psychology of manipulation. Manipulators often prey on our emotions, exploiting our fears, insecurities, and desires. They may use guilt, shame, or flattery to influence our decisions and control our behavior. By understanding these tactics, we can become more resistant to their influence and better equipped to protect ourselves. Moreover, it's important to remember that even the most skilled manipulators can make mistakes. They may slip up, reveal their true intentions, or contradict themselves in some way. It is up to us to be vigilant and to pay attention to these inconsistencies. Like a detective piecing together clues, we must gather information, analyze the evidence, and draw our own conclusions. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't dismiss your intuition or rationalize away your concerns. Instead, investigate further and seek out the truth. Remember, the goal is not to become paranoid or suspicious of everyone you meet. Rather, it is to develop a healthy skepticism and a critical eye. By being aware of the potential for manipulation, you can protect yourself from those who seek to exploit you and maintain control over your own life. The historical parallel of empires and war serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of vigilance, strategy, and awareness. Just as empires must defend themselves against external threats, we must defend ourselves against those who seek to manipulate us in our personal lives. And just as generals must develop comprehensive plans of attack, we must develop strategies for detecting hidden games and protecting ourselves from their harmful effects. This proactive approach necessitates constant learning and adaptation. The landscape of social dynamics is ever shifting, and new manipulation tactics are constantly being developed. Staying informed and continuously refining your understanding of human behavior is critical for long-term success. This also includes being willing to adapt your strategies based on the specific individuals and situations you encounter. A one-size-fits-all approach will rarely be effective, as different people will respond to different tactics. The ability to tailor your approach to the unique circumstances is a key element of mastery in this domain. Furthermore, developing emotional resilience is crucial. Detecting manipulation can be emotionally taxing, as it often involves confronting uncomfortable truths about the people around you. Building a strong sense of self-worth and developing healthy coping mechanisms can help you navigate these challenges without becoming overwhelmed or discouraged. The ability to remain objective and detached, even when facing emotionally charged situations, is a valuable asset in this context. Finally, remember that seeking guidance from trusted sources can be invaluable. Discussing your concerns with trusted friends, family members, or mentors can provide valuable perspective and support. They may be able to offer insights that you have overlooked or help you process your emotions more effectively. Building a strong support network is an essential part of maintaining your well-being and navigating the complexities of social dynamics. By embracing these principles and continuously honing your skills, you can become a master of detecting hidden games and protecting yourself from manipulation. You will be able to navigate the social landscape with confidence, make informed decisions, and maintain control over your own destiny. The human mind is a complex landscape, and understanding its inner workings is essential for detecting hidden games. People's motivations are rarely as simple as they appear on the surface. Often, individuals operate from a place of insecurity, fear, or a deep-seated need for validation. These underlying vulnerabilities can drive them to engage in manipulative tactics without even being consciously aware of their behavior. Recognizing these patterns requires developing a keen understanding of human psychology and the various defense mechanisms people employ to protect themselves. For instance, projection, where someone attributes their own unacceptable thoughts or feelings onto another person, can be a subtle yet powerful form of manipulation. Similarly, rationalization, the process of creating seemingly logical explanations to justify irrational behavior, can obscure the true motives behind someone's actions. By understanding these psychological mechanisms, you can begin to see through the smokescreen and identify the hidden agendas at play. Furthermore, it's crucial to recognize the role of cognitive biases in shaping our perceptions and judgments. Confirmation bias, the tendency to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs while ignoring contradictory evidence, can make us vulnerable to manipulation. Anchoring bias, where we rely too heavily on the first piece of information we receive, can distort our judgment and lead us to make poor decisions. By being aware of these biases, we can take steps to mitigate their influence and make more objective assessments of social situations. Emotional intelligence is another critical component of detecting hidden games. The ability to recognize and understand your own emotions, as well as the emotions of others, is essential for navigating the complexities of social interaction. By paying attention to nonverbal cues, such as facial expressions, body language, and tone of voice, you can gain valuable insights into someone's true feelings and intentions. Furthermore, empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person, can help you anticipate their behavior and identify potential manipulation tactics. However, it's important to exercise caution when employing empathy, as it can also be used against you. Skilled manipulators are adept at exploiting people's empathy by playing on their emotions and creating a sense of guilt or obligation. Therefore, it's crucial to maintain a healthy level of skepticism and avoid allowing your emotions to cloud your judgment. Consider the power of framing. The way information is presented can profoundly influence how it is perceived. Manipulators often use framing techniques to control the narrative and steer people toward a desired conclusion. By carefully choosing their words, highlighting certain aspects of a situation while downplaying others, and appealing to specific emotions, they can create a distorted picture of reality. Recognizing these framing techniques is essential for maintaining your autonomy and making informed decisions. Question the underlying assumptions, seek out alternative perspectives, and resist the urge to accept information at face value. Always consider the source and be wary of any attempt to control the narrative. The concept of psychological reactance also plays a significant role in social dynamics. Psychological reactance is the tendency to resist perceived threats to one's freedom or autonomy. When people feel that their choices are being limited or that they are being pressured to conform, they may react by asserting their independence and doing the opposite of what is expected. Manipulators often exploit this tendency by using reverse psychology, where they subtly encourage someone to do something by pretending to discourage them from doing it. Understanding psychological reactance can help you avoid falling victim to these tactics and maintain control over your own choices. In addition to these psychological concepts, it's also important to be aware of common manipulation tactics. Gaslighting, a form of psychological abuse where someone attempts to make another person doubt their sanity, is a particularly insidious tactic. It involves distorting reality, denying someone's experiences, and making them question their own memory and perception. Recognizing the signs of gaslighting is crucial for protecting your mental health and maintaining your sense of self. Other common manipulation tactics include guilt tripping, playing the victim, and triangulation, where someone brings a third party into a conflict to gain an advantage. By familiarizing yourself with these tactics, you can become more adept at identifying them and protecting yourself from their harmful effects. Ultimately, detecting hidden games requires a combination of psychological understanding, emotional intelligence, and critical thinking skills. It's an ongoing process of learning, observation, and adaptation. By continuously honing your skills and remaining vigilant, you can navigate the social landscape with confidence and maintain control over your own destiny. Remember that the most effective defense against manipulation is awareness. By being aware of the psychological forces at play and the tactics that manipulators employ, you can empower yourself to make informed decisions and protect yourself from harm. The ability to perceive the subtle shifts in power dynamics, the unspoken intentions behind carefully chosen words, is the key to unlocking the hidden layers of social interaction. Every conversation is a strategic dance, a push and pull of influence where individuals strive to assert their dominance and achieve their desired outcomes. To truly master the art of detecting hidden games, you must cultivate a keen awareness of these underlying dynamics and learn to identify the telltale signs of manipulation. This involves paying close attention to nonverbal cues, such as body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice, as these often betray the true intentions of the speaker. A seemingly innocent question can be a probe, designed to gauge your vulnerabilities and exploit your weaknesses. A compliment can be a subtle form of flattery, intended to lower your defenses and make you more susceptible to suggestion. A feigned display of vulnerability can be a calculated attempt to elicit sympathy and gain your trust. It's crucial to approach every interaction with a healthy dose of skepticism and to resist the urge to take things at face value. Instead, strive to see beneath the surface, to understand the motivations driving the other person's behavior. Ask yourself, what do they stand to gain from this interaction? What are they trying to achieve? What are they not telling me? By constantly questioning and analyzing the information you receive, you can begin to peel back the layers of deception and reveal the hidden agendas at play. Furthermore, it's essential to develop a strong sense of self-awareness. Know your own vulnerabilities, your own biases, and your own tendencies to fall prey to manipulation. Understand what triggers you emotionally, what makes you feel insecure, and what motivates your decisions. This self-knowledge will allow you to recognize when someone is attempting to exploit your weaknesses and to resist their influence. Moreover, mastering the art of detecting hidden games requires a deep understanding of human psychology. Familiarize yourself with the principles of cognitive biases, persuasion techniques, and social influence. Learn how people tend to think, how they are easily swayed, and how they can be manipulated into acting against their own best interests. By understanding these psychological principles, you can anticipate the moves of your opponents and develop effective countermeasures to protect yourself. The world of social interaction is a complex and often treacherous landscape, filled with hidden agendas, unspoken desires, and subtle power plays. But by developing your skills of observation, analysis, and self-awareness, you can navigate this landscape with confidence and protect yourself from those who seek to manipulate you. Remember, the game is always being played, whether you are aware of it or not. And the only way to win is to